Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered. Three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, Armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, fellow B Plus players, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I am your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Wednesday. You know what that means. It's King of Sports Day. It's time for us to talk about everything in the King of Sports universe. This very likely will be our last King of Sports universe podcast for 2018. So we're going to do things a little different. I don't know if we're going to get to everything. We're going to kind of talk yearly, end of year awards, things. We haven't got any official awards categories or anything, but Mike and I are just kind of going to shoot the shit and talk about what the best things we thought happened were this year and everything. But we will do a few results first. Joining me, of course, to do all of this, big boy Mikey. How are you, man?
Good, buddy. Good. It's I can't believe it's our final cast, final King of Sports cast for the year. We've this is a special cast because this is one of our special ones that we started with at the beginning of the B Plus life, and we've carried it right through, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think our very first podcast in the format we're in, because we did a few beta casts where we were talking about everything on one podcast, and they went for like 3 hours, and we were like, no one will listen to this. So then we started talking about individual things. And I'm pretty sure the first one we ever did was Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion was the first major review we had, and it's only fitting that, we're, 4 weeks exactly from 1 month exactly from Wrestle Kingdom. And look, like you said, like today's going to be a little bit different. We'll touch on a couple of things from like our favorite things through the year, and we'll touch on a few results. But really, the next 4 weeks, other than Final Battle and Ring of Honor, things are going to be really slow. Christmas time, obviously, every year in pro wrestling is a bit of a lull period from WWE all the way down to most independent promotions. It's a bit of a fun period, where you can wrestle Santas and that sort of stuff. So it's all in good fun. But yeah, I think the next couple of weeks are going to be nice and quiet. So it's a good time for us to recharge our podcast batteries and then launch in 2019 with Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, speak for yourself. I got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
On the back end. You see, what you do with the podcast is you jump online for a couple of hours a week after watching some wrestling, and we talk. But then I have to do the editing, the website, the posting, all the hosting stuff and everything. And I'm not complaining. I love it. It's really fun to do. But I'm going to try to rejig some things, and we're looking at expanding. And I'm gonna see what I can get done over the Christmas period. But I am definitely going to try and relax as well. So it's not one of those things where I'm like, I've got some loose goals in mind for the 2019 launch for when we come back. But if I don't get to them, I don't get to them, because I mean this doesn't pay money yet. So I mean it's kind of one of those things where when I need to take a step back, I take a step back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but let's dive into it. I figured that I would briefly touch on Ring of Honor TV this week because, of course, we do have Final Battle coming up, and the card for Final Battle is quite exciting. I'm more excited for this Ring of Honor pay-per-view than I have been for a while.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about it. Now, this week's TV started with Kenny King versus Christopher Daniels. Pretty good match. Marty Scurll was on commentary. Kenny King was insulting Christopher Daniels for being old, really basic stuff. I'm a huge fan, always have been, always will be, of Kenny King's cartwheel kicks. Or I don't know if they're cartwheels. It's like that. He puts the one hand down and then kicks you in the face.
Oh yeah, like the
I love that move. It never looks bad. He has like the cleanest version of that move I've ever seen. Marty Scurll was doing some interesting stuff on commentary. He was saying that Christopher Daniels is all shtick and he doesn't have any substance, which is really interesting to me because a lot of the UK fans consider that Marty Scurll used to be a good wrestler, but now he's just all shtick.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I can understand. I can somewhat understand that, but
yeah. So then there's an accidental ref bump that leads to King hitting the low blow and getting the win over Christopher Daniels. We then get a Dalton Castle promo about being gone for 3 months and not going through all the recovery just so he could fight Matt Taven. I guess he doesn't want Matt Taven at Final Battle, but I'm sorry, Dalton Castle. Matt Taven is who you've got. Then we get Josh Woods versus Jeff Cobb. This match was maybe a little too competitive in the beginning. Josh Woods does his whole MMA style stuff, keeping Cobb grounded for a while, which, I mean, it wasn't long. It was only like 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes of that set sequence. But I know you would have hated it being, I know how you felt about Katarina versus Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
And so this was kind of like he got a little bit too much offense in. Adam Page was watching from the stage. Cobb powers out, hits his series of power moves with the Tour of the Islands and gets the win. Then Page gets in the ring and he's like, oh yeah, that was really impressive, Jeff. Like, check this out. This is how a real whooping is done. And then out comes Facade, the Neon Ninja, who I actually really, really like. And Adam Page gets a quick win with the rites of passage. Then he and Cobb sort of go nose to nose because they're facing off, of course, for the television title at Final Battle.
Fair enough.
Then Marty Scurll is backstage, finds Christopher Daniels. This is apparently right after the survival of the fittest win. And Christopher Daniels claims it was unfair. It was Bullet Club versus Christopher Daniels. It wasn't Marty one-on-one. And he says he couldn't do it one-on-one. So Marty puts his title shot on the line at Final Battle. Marty versus Christopher Daniels. We talked about this last week, and I was like, I haven't seen this get set up. It's been set up now. So, yeah, Marty Scurll is going to put his title shot on the line, which is a bit silly to me. Like, Christopher Daniels being like, oh, it was Bullet Club versus Christopher Daniels. It was a multi-man match. They qualified. It's not like there was anything suspect or untoward going on. It's just how the match works. Like,
yeah,
suck it up.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I get that.
But then we get a package for Cody and Jay Lethal, which is very the story that they're telling there, with the fact that this was Cody's first match in the company and now it's probably going to be his last. This is a very good story that they're telling. After that package, we get a Matt Taven promo, this time about Dalton Castle and how he crumbles under pressure. His title reign was shit. Matt Taven is a diamond formed under pressure. So that was a really good promo. And then we get the main event with Stuka Jr. and Guerrero Maya Jr. versus SoCal Uncensored for the tag team titles. This match was way too short.
Yeah, I've heard.
Went like a whole
Wow.
6 minutes, 7
Yeah,
minutes.
I've heard
It was
that,
really short.
Like on the CMLR boards, that it was a little bit short, but that's interesting.
Yeah, SCU won with the Burning Heart, and then Christopher Daniels joins them, and they do a promo segment about the contracts and how he's going to win so he can stay in the company that he helped build. Marty Scurll comes out and tells Christopher Daniels that he may have helped build the company, but he warns Christopher Daniels that it's going to be his final battle. And then they shake hands and they go face-to-face. So that was Ring of Honor TV this week, and I really liked it because it did a lot to build towards Final Battle. That's what you want these shows to do. And Final Battle right around the corner. The card is very exciting. The stories they're telling are very exciting. We have Sumi Sakai versus Madison Rain versus Karen Q versus Kelly Klein. Now, that one's just kind of there. Once again, the Women of Honor don't get a lot of attention, a lot of love on TV. I am actually thinking Sumi Sakai may extend her reign until Tennille Dashwood gets back. I feel like they wanted to give it to Tennille Dashwood last time, but because of the injury, they couldn't. And I still think that that's their plan eventually.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Then we get Matt Taven versus Dalton Castle. This one could go either way. We could keep Matt Taven going with his, fake purple title, or they could be wanting to build Dalton Castle back up as a serious challenger. Given the way his title reign went, I'm not sure that that's the best idea, to be honest with you. What do you think about Dalton Castle as a top contender?
Oh, big time. I'm not a massive Matt Taven fan. Like, he's growing on me. But Dalton Castle is one of my favorite entertainers out there. Like, he's not the greatest wrestler, but in the company, but he's one of the most entertaining guys in general. I don't know. I love Dalton Castle. I'm spewing. I missed the chance to go see him in Sydney when he was out here in August. Would have been awesome, but yeah, he's a fantastic talent.
Yeah, don't skirt around it. It would have been awesome, but you're not a fan of wrestling. Go.
No, it's just they were on the same night as PWA, and not going to lie, PWA wins. You could have
Right.
you could have Penta on wrestling Go, and I would miss it. So
Yeah, I did. I forgot that they were on the same night, so I I do apologize for that. Then we get Jay Lethal versus Cody. Obviously, these aren't the order of the matches. This is just the order of the matches on Wikipedia. Yeah. Jay Lethal versus Cody. This is for the Ring of Honor World Championship, so it's probably going to be the main event, you would think. And you also got to think that Cody's going to be losing that one.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. Way to finish off the Cody Ring of Honor tenure. Also been 2 years. 2 years already. It's an interesting ride. Like both him and the Bucks have helped Ring of Honor, get back to where they kind of were for a while. We all know that Ring of Honor are going to have some work to do in 2019, but yeah,
very much so. They've started that work.
They have, and I expect Lethal to pick up the victory here and continue because we all know he is a loyal Ring of Honor boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get Adam Page versus Jeff Cobb for the television championship. That one's going to be fantastic, and being that Adam Page is one of the elite, you got to think that that Jeff Cobb will be retaining that one. He's a relatively new champion.
Absolutely, well. And another guy that's just this is a match of the on the card for me. This is the match of the night on paper. Like this one is the most underrated. A lot of people might not think that straight away. They might think that a match featuring the Young Bucks is going to be the best, but this is hands down match of the night for me.
Well, I think you're absolutely insane because Jonathan Gresham versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. You forgetting about that?
I know people. I love Gresham and Zack Sabre Jr. Don't get me wrong. Just Page and Cobb are two guys. Yeah, okay, Gresham is part of the future as well, but Cobb and Page are two guys that are going to probably be, I don't know, the king of the indies for a while. Like, I don't know, like.
I don't know. Look, Jonathan Gresham and Zack Sabre Jr. are two of the best wrestlers, capital W, and true. You know I'm a big fan of that, so I'm looking forward to that one. Then you got Bully Ray versus Flip Gordon in an I Quit match. No one cares. We're sick of this story. Just give Flip Gordon a quick win and move on. Christopher Daniels and Marty Scurll with the number one contendership on the line. Now, this one is interesting to me because who knows what Christopher Daniels... Is Christopher Daniels going with the Elite? Is Kazarian going with the Elite? Could the stuff that they're teasing on being the Elite with him getting a coach job at NXT, I mean, who better to be a head coach, to be honest with you, than Christopher motherfucking Daniels? So, right. I don't know, man. I don't know. Does he stick around?
This one's tricky. The only guy out of that era that, other than the Briscoes, out of that era that's never touched a WWE contract. And I know he was there as a jobber once, but there's all those rumors that he was meant to be one of the Brood guys back in the 90s or something like that. But yeah, I would like him to go to a coaching role. Like, I love him as a wrestler, and I don't want to see him finish his career. But like most of his buddies are there now. You got Carino there. You got McGuinness there now. I don't know. He would be a great coach down there.
Yeah. So the question is, does he win the title and get another? Does he win the number one contendership and get a title match and then lose there and head on his way? Does he win the title and stick around? There's a lot of ways this could go, and I have with all the contract season shenanigans going on at the moment, I find this to be the most interesting story on the card. And then we have SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, the champions, the tag team champions, defending their titles in Ladder War 7. This one is against the Briscoes and the Young Bucks. Now, the Young Bucks contracts are up. They're heading wherever they're heading. Supposedly, Frankie's is up. I have no idea about Scorpio Sky. So you got to think the Briscoes have this one in the bag, but I feel like a lot of questions are going to be answered at Final Battle as to whether people are sticking around.
Oh yeah, between Final Battle and Wrestle Kingdom, we're going to get a lot of answers. Yeah, so it'd be very interesting. I expect the Briscoes to pick up the titles here. I see them as the only safe.
Come
bet
Wrestle
not to leave Ring
Kingdom,
of Honor.
do we think
So,
that Kenny Omega drops the belt to Tanahashi? Because if he does that mean he's moving on? That's the secondary question to that.
yeah, I think so. I think Kenny drops the title.
Yeah, and he's moving on with the others.
Yeah, they're all in it together.
Interesting. Well, I mean, they say that, but that could just be another tactic. Like they said on, I love that they actually said that on Being the Elite this week, which we talk about on all the rest. So we'll talk about that this weekend. But Yujiro Takahashi asked Adam Page, "What's all this trademarks bullshit?" And Adam he was just like, "Oh, I don't know. I think that's just a tactic to drive up the price for someone else. I don't know." I thought it was hilarious that they actually addressed that.
They're so cheeky.
But, let's sidetrack into the... I mean, we've looked at the card now, so let's sidetrack into the All Elite stuff. Cody was seen in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, it threw me. I was actually, watching the highlights. I didn't even see the news break out, and I was watching the highlights of the game, and they showed him in the box. I was like, oh, hello. What are you doing there?
Yeah.
Hey.
If it is just to drive up the price, they're doing it masterfully.
Oh, absolutely. Doing a killer job with it. It's 100% happening. It has to happen.
All Elite Wrestling. So you don't think it's all just a tactic to make WWE pay them more?
Look, it could. They could all surprise debut at Rumble or Mania or something, but I don't know. It's look. I'm ready for them to go to WWE. Or not so much Cody. I think Cody has a lot more to offer outside WWE than in WWE. But I'm ready for Kenny in the Bucks. I've accepted it. I don't want it, but I've accepted it.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. Whether it's next year, the year after that, they're going to be in WWE one day. It's inevitable.
I don't know if they will. If this All Elite Wrestling thing is true and it's them and they have an investor, and I don't think they will end up in WWE. I think they close out their careers doing their own thing the same way they've done it the entire time. And I think it's a historic career to have. I think that they will make it into the Wrestling Hall of Fame one day, probably the WWE Hall of Fame even one day, 40, 50 years from now when Vince is long dead and someone else is running the company and All Elite Wrestling has come and gone. Because let's face it, WWE is not going anywhere, I don't think. I mean, you never know. But
no, they're not. And look, no one ever thought Sting was ever going to be in WWE, and here he is retired as a WWE Hall of Famer. Sad finish, but, he kind of gave in at the end there. Something that the Bucks and Kenny could do, 10, 15 years, retire at WWE, a dream match that no one ever got. But, yeah, it's all going to be very interesting. Because I actually have questions about Ring of Honor, and it actually is going to launch me into the CMLL section and the section. So,
yeah, well, go ahead, man. Go ahead, because that's it for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm going to touch on CMLL this week. I'm going to quickly dive into the results from this week's Super Friday show, so this week was a Legends week. There was two really good matches. Two matches that just tweak with your emotions. It's what we sort of had at WWE Super Show, but in a lesser way. So let's just smash through the results. So in the opening, we had a Legends match, which was the team called Trio Fantasia, defeating Los Diabolicos. So struggle calling that one. Then we had the mini match with the Micromen. With the team of Galito, Gorbito, and Microman picking up a victory there. Then,
are you allowed to call them Micromen?
Yeah,
I don't know what the term
there's
is.
Micro and Mini. They're called Micro Estrellas and Mini Estrellas. There's Micro and Mini. There's two different actual. I don't know what the correct terminology is, like midgets or whatever. There's two different type of minis. But in the match of the night, La Sangre Dinamita, I've been talking about them for weeks. You know how hot I am on them. They picked up a match against Los Ingobernables. So strange that they were just in the mid card because this was a Legends night, so it was just one of those nights. But fuck, it's such a good match. These 6 are the hottest talent in CMLL right now, and it's going to be part of what I'm going to ask you in a minute. And we sort of touched about it off air the other day, but anyway. Then we had the team of Felino, Mano Negra, and Solar 1. Defending the team of Fuerza Guerrera, Jerry Estrada, and Negro Navarro. Another Legends match. Then we had the World Trios title being defended on Friday night. Los Guerreros, Laguneros, Euphoria, Gran Guerrero, and Ultimate Guerrero defeated El Sky Team, which is Mystico and Volador Jr. And Caristico. And then we had the main event, massive Legends match. Atlantis, the King Mask Dealer, Blue Panther, El Rayo del Jalisco Jr. defeating the team of El Canek, Mascara Anno 2000, and Volano 4. So a couple of things, just a quick wrap up. Like I said, 2 really good matches. So the World Trios title match and also the Dinamita versus Ingobernables match. Holy shit, both matches were fantastic. Ultimate Guerrero and Gran Guerrero are a little bit older, but those 12 talents between those 2 matches are the 12 hottest talents that CMLL have. Yes, they borrow LA Park and Penta and Phoenix from time to time. Well, actually, once every couple of weeks. However, these guys are pure CMLL guys. And it brings me to my question to you. You know how we're talking about off-air if Ring of Honor is potentially phasing out of the potential King of Sports universe? Maybe New Japan, yeah?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've heard rumblings that sort of after the Madison Square Garden show that Ring of Honor and New Japan may be going their separate ways.
Yeah. Well, what I want to ask you is, do you find it bizarre that, like, Guerrero Mayo Jr. and Stuka Jr. great talents? Don't get me wrong, they're really good. But why are Ring of Honor going for those 2 guys, which they're fantastic, but why are they going for those 2 guys? And Major League Wrestling are getting Rush and Lapaka. Major League Wrestling look like they're going to get the friggin'... They're booking better than CMLL or AAA even could, potentially for the Apuestas match between Rush and LA Park, which is like potentially going to be a 5-star match. Like, it's going to be huge. I don't get why Ring of Honor aren't touching the high-class CMLL talents. Like, they could help easily book, like, the revenge of Taven and Volador Jr. They could do something like that. Like, I feel that you're right, because
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because I feel you're right. Like, we were talking about the other day that potentially Ring of Honor are going to pull out of this. And it kind of irks me that, like, they're just not touching the big name talent in CMLL, and it's just like, why wouldn't you? And why would you let Major League Wrestling do that? Like, Major League Wrestling is stealing some fantastic CMLL talent. It's just baffling to me. But the only other thing I want to touch on is I get that Mexico and Japan love treating their legends like absolute gold, and I love it. I'm an old timer wrestling fan, so I love seeing some of these guys. But just sometimes you struggle seeing, like, it was even hard for me at Super Showdown watching Shawn Michaels and Kane and all that. Do you find it just really hard to just watch legends wrestle?
Sometimes. I mean, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. It's just hard. Like, Atlantis and, like, guys like Atlantis, Blue Panther, and they're wrestling on Friday night. It was just a struggle. Like, yeah, you get that cheap pop at the start. You're like, yay! Like, how cool is it seeing Atlantis? Like, this is a guy that took freaking, what's his name, mask? Well, Sombra's mask, and, you know, now you got Andrade, and he took Ultimate Guerrero's mask. He's one of the biggest legends ever. But you're like, watching him in the ring now, you're like, I don't want to see this, because it's like, the last impression that you have in your head is just these 70-year-old guys just moving very slowly, and it's just like, it's just sad. It's like, I get why they do it once a year. They do their Legends Week. They treat them like gold, but it's just hard to watch.
It's hard when it's legend versus legend. You know, it's
Yeah.
You need someone in there who is sort of in their prime, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So this was they had 3 legend matches, an opener, a mid card, and then the closer, and it was just all legends against legends, and it was very, very sloppy. Like, which is fine because next week they're not going to be on the cards, and you can forget about it. But yeah, it's just hard. But I'm really, really stoked that I got into CMLL this year. I was a fan a fair few years ago, but with the addition to like YouTube and stuff like that, these guys are absolutely killing it. And I'll touch on it more when we get to our end of year frivolities. But that's it for CMLL this week. I just wanted to talk about that, the Ring of Honor thing and also the Legends thing. But that is it with CMLL.
And I guess there was a few things with RevPro. I mean, there's definitely some news with RevPro that we want to talk about this week.
So like RevPro, I know they had a live at the cockpit show this weekend. I think it was the 2nd. So Sunday night. I haven't really seen any results that come out of that. I know there's a new women's champion. For the spoilers, I'm saying, but the results and on demand will be up very soon, I'm sure. But yeah, the biggest piece of news coming out of RevPro this week. Finally, not only have we had Park versus Zack Sabre Jr. announced for the 6th of January, we now have on the 15th of February at York Hall, Ospreay Park. Like, holy fuck. Is Britt Rez dead? Fuck no. Like...
well, I mean, you could argue that this isn't Brit Rez. This is Dragon Gate versus New Japan. Will Ospreay versus Park.
Yeah,
but,
you know what? RevPro are just very smart that they can open these doors to all these companies. Like, it's so good. Like, and I don't think New Japan have any big shows around that time in my head. So they'll have the host of, the Ishii's, the Zack Sabre Juniors, and all that for that show. That's going to be one hell of a card. I've read some rumors that they're looking at doing on-demand live for that show.
Right.
Tickets have already sold out for the show. They had pre-sale today. They sold out all tickets in pre-sale. And the regular sale. There's no tickets ready for regular sale. So they're completely sold out for this already. Yeah. What else can you say about an Ospreay Park match? Like, we'll obviously touch on it closer to the time, but holy fuck.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, RevPro are kind of the home of dream matches in a way. So at least as far as modern independent wrestling goes, they're right up there. And some of the Suzuki Ishii matches and Zack Sabre Jr.'s work over there, the tag team stuff that they've been doing. I'm very much looking forward to both of these Park matches. They're going to be insane. You got to wonder how the title's going to come into play as well. Since the title is on the line at Wrestle Kingdom, it's very likely that Zack Sabre Jr. walks into that match with Park as the champion. Could he have a really short reign? Could Park take it and then walk into the Ospreay match as champion? Who knows? I think I wouldn't like the title jumping around that much, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, because it is, like you said, it is kind of New Japan versus Dragon Gate, and in a weird, sexy way. And you could also do things like Okada versus Park in RevPro, or you could do Ishii versus Park. So very interesting.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Sorry to interrupt the podcast, B+ players, but I just need to take a second to tell you about Threadbox. Threadbox is a subscription service for men that makes looking good easier than ever before. Just fill out a few questions to start building your style profile, and from there you will be paired with a stylist who will send you new threads once a month, so you don't have to worry about checking the stores and finding new clothes. It's like having a personal shopper and stylist at your fingertips, and you just sit back, relax, wait for your awesome new gear to arrive in the mail. They sent me a box this month. I got a new pair of jeans. I got 2 shirts. You can check out the unboxing video on the Facebook page. And the best part about it is you can get in touch with your stylist by email at any time. So if you need new singlets, if you need new long sleeves, if you need new shoes, if there's something specific you want, You just let them know what you need and they'll tailor the box to your specific requests. It's a completely personalized service available on any budget. You'll always get way more value than you pay for because Threadbox work with all the best brands. Boxes start from just $40, and if you use our code, the B+15 at checkout today, you're going to get 15% off your first box. So what are you waiting for, man? Like, if you want to look better with less effort, head to threadbox.com.au and use the code the B+15 to get your box today.
Let's head over to Japan as we're speaking about guys like Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. Let's head straight into where we are at with World Tag League. We'll jump straight into the standings of where we are as of right now. I can't remember if there's a show on tonight. I don't think so. I think it's tomorrow night. So this is the standings as of right now. Then we'll touch on this weekend's going to be the finals and who we think is going to be in it. There's some prizes, actually, I was not expecting at this stage of the tournament. So let's run through the bottom of the table. Obviously, Yoshida and Shota Umino are on 0 points, and that's how they will remain through the tournament. Yuji Nagata and Manabu Nakanishi on 2 points, which is sad. I was hoping they'd get 1 or 2 more victories, but that's okay. Hiroshi Tenzin and Kojima on 6 points. That's fair. Makabe and Hanare, Hangman Page, and Takahashi both on 8 points. You got the teams of Suzuki and Izuka representing Suzuki-gun, Beretta and Chucky T, the best friends, or are they? Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, all on 10 points. Then you got Elgin and Cobb on 12 points, which is actually very surprising to me. Juice and Finley on 12, which is also very impressive for Finley. Not for Juice, but for Finley. Then you got Lance and Davey Boy on 14. You got who we expected to be at the top. We got Tama and Tanga and Sonata and Evil on 16 points. But we also have Ishii and Yano on 16 points. I was not expecting Ishii and Yano to be sitting on the top of the standings with those two teams at this stage of the tournament.
No, that is quite
Yano
surprising.
has been like I'm not gonna lie. I've watched every single match up until I haven't watched Monday night's one. So sorry, but I've watched nearly every single tag league match. Yano has been so fun. He has been the cheeky Yano that we all know. He is like, I don't know what to compare him to, but he is so entertaining. You know how funny he was in the G1 and stuff. This is just even better. He's so fun.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Ishii is up the top. Like I doubt they're going to win. I'm guessing it's going to be between God and Sonata and Evil. But you know, never know. But Ishii's already got a match penned for Wrestle Kingdom, so I don't think he's going to be winning. But you never know. But yeah, some other surprising results there. Like I wasn't expecting Finn Juice or Elgin and Cobb to be so high there. They're not out of the tournament. They win all 3 remaining matches, which I don't think. And I didn't expect Suzuki to be doing so bad. Like, I don't know why Suzuki does so bad in tournaments, but
Yeah, he's not really a tournament guy, is he?
No.
It doesn't have a lot of luck.
no. But yeah, look, it's been a really interesting tag league. We've said it a couple of weeks in a row. I'm not a big fan of this whole one league, 14 teams in one league. I don't know. I just would have preferred 8 super teams. I just would have preferred 8 or 10 super teams and left it at that. But it's been good. But
Yeah, I like having more teams. I like having 2 blocks. I would rather them be real teams.
yeah, fair enough. Instead of like throw together teams, like why wouldn't you not?
Yeah.
I know we obviously got Zack Sabre in a match already for Wrestle Kingdom, which is fantastic. But why would you not give us Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki as a tag team? Surely that is like they're the Rev Pro Tag Champions. Why would you not?
Because they need they need to protect. I told you they need to protect the stars, and they don't want the stars eating.
Yeah,
kids.
I get that. But yeah, it's just. I mean, you got to do it with Sonata and Evil. I guess they're not losing much, but still. But look, you know, it's been a decent tag league. I'm not going to say it's been my favorite tournament this year for New Japan. It's probably been my least favorite. You know, the Junior Tag League was fantastic. G1, Best of Super Juniors, all fun. But yeah, look, we're 4 weeks, literally a month away today from Wrestle Kingdom. We know half of the card, or a third of the card. Still a lot to be learned over the next couple of weeks. New Japan haven't announced anything, but the Young Bucks on Being the Elite today, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, mentioned that they're going to be in the final night of the World Tag League, so they'll be there on the Sunday night. They seem to be genuinely upset that they missed the entire tournament, but they will be there for the final night. So I'm guessing if anything is to be set up for the Bucks' last rodeo at the Tokyo Dome, we'll find out Sunday.
Yeah, because at this point, I have no idea where the Bucks fit at Wrestle Kingdom.
You know what? I love the Bucks. You know I do. I love the Bucks so much, but I don't know if I care if they're on the card or not. Like, there's so much good talent in New Japan now that I'm like, I don't know. Like, if they're on it, I'm going to be fuck yeah. Like, and I love the Young Bucks, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, they could be in a 6-man tag, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think the card needs them. I don't. But I'm just curious as to, because I feel like they're gonna be on it. It's gonna be their last one. They're gonna be on it, but I just don't know. I don't know where they fit. No, I was about to say something against Gorillas of Destiny, but they're gonna be in the title match. So I have no idea, honestly.
Who are the 6-man champions at the moment? God, I should know this.
It's Gorillas of Destiny with Taiji Ishimori.
Oh, okay.
Bullet Club.
Maybe they dropped.
They still haven't
before.
lost them.
Maybe they dropped those before Wrestle Kingdom somehow, and
when?
Yeah, that's a good point. On the road to Tokyo Dome somehow.
I don't know, man. It's that'd be pretty late to set it up. So who do you think wins Tag League? Let's get that out of the way right now, because we're not gonna be doing a review or anything. Our next show will be Wrestle Kingdom. So
by the time we get to Wrestle Kingdom, we'll know where we go with the World Tag League. But yeah, I'm gonna go Sonata and Evil. I think they win it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it at this point. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, or Tama and Tagan win and they choose their opponents, but we'll see.
If that's the case, if they win and they choose their opponents, then that's probably where the Young Bucks will be, right?
Well, actually, now we just said that out loud, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they win, and then on Sunday night, they challenge them.
Final showdown between the Bullet Club and the Bullet Club.
Yep.
Or the Bullet Club and the Elite.
Yep.
Makes sense to me. That might be where it has to go in order to get to Wrestle Kingdom in a logical way. So what does the Wrestle Kingdom card look like at the moment?
Well, let's have a look. So there is 3 Tag League shows left. Then there's a Road to Wrestle Kingdom, Road to Tokyo Dome as they're calling it. And so let's look at what we have locked in so far. So we have the junior tag titles are locked in. So we've got the teams of Kanemaru and Desperado defending their tag titles against Sho and Yo, and also the team of Bushi and Shingo Takagi. Shingo Takagi, a guy that 4 months ago was in Dragon Gate, and now he's wrestling at the Tokyo Dome. Fantastic, right? Then we got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. So the junior division is set for Kingdom. They got Kushida defending his title against Taiji Ishimori, another guy that a year ago was in Noah. Now here he is at Tokyo Dome for New Japan, which is cool. Then we have the 3. I'm calling it a triple main event. It's a triple main event. You got Okada taking on Jay White. That's going to be awesome. Jericho versus Naito for the IC Championship. And you got Kenny Omega defending his title against the G1 winner, Tanahashi. It's a triple main event. Obviously, Kenny and Tana is going to close the show, but call it what you want. It's a triple main event. It's cool. It's going to be a great show.
Man, I don't believe in that. The main event is the main event.
No, I know, but when you get 3 solid main event matches that are booked in before the tag league,
it's a triple draw card. There are 3 draw matches.
Yeah, true.
But the main event is the main event.
Yeah,
you can't have 2 main events. It's impossible.
Yeah, I agree to disagree on that one.
unless you're going to have 2 rings and the matches are going to go on at the same time, there's no such thing as 2 main events. Okay, there are draw matches and there is the main event, and the main event is Kenny versus Tanahashi, and we've talked about it. I think people might be surprised. I think Kenny might keep it.
Yeah,
might.
Yeah, then he could just drop it at.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then he could drop it the next night at New Year's Dash. Who knows? Sneaky.
Potentially.
But,
Potentially.
that's Wrestle Kingdom. We're 4 weeks away exactly from it. Get your Wrestle Kingdom night set because it's going to be on a night for us. I think it'll probably start about 5 o'clock. There'll be the pre-show Rumble where we're hoping our one and only Robbie Eagles will be in. I'm sure he will be. There will be at least another 10 matches announced, 8 matches announced. I think it's usually about a 13 match card usually. So I can't wait. It's my favorite time of the year. It's Christmas, but a week later.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I'm looking forward as well to the time off. So let's recap because this is the last one we're going to do for the year. Yeah. Let's recap 2000. Unless, of course, if any major stories pop up, we'll do a quick little bonus cast to cover those major stories. We'll just put that out there. But for now, it looks like this is our last podcast of the year with regards to the King of Sports universe. So let's take a look at 2018, man. It's been a year.
Yeah, it has been a fantastic year, especially for New Japan. They're just growing from strength to strength. You start off with Wrestle Kingdom at the start of this year, right through to now. It's just been a year, right? Like, the rise of some people, like, we always knew Tama was special, but his 2018 has been something to behold. We've had Jay White emerges one of the best talents in the world. Hiromu Takahashi had. Oh, shout out! It's Hiromu Takahashi's birthday today. Happy birthday, Hiromu Takahashi. But
that takes me to my first thing I want to talk about with 2018.
Yeah.
Hiromu Takahashi. I know you're in the middle of a point, so I'll let you finish, but I just want to put that bookmark there and say we're coming back to Hiromu Takahashi.
Well, just quite simply, I think he had the best 6 months of 2018. Unfortunately, we all know where he's at right now. Well, we don't know where he's at because he tells us one thing and Uncle Dave tells another, but we know he's still in recovery.
Right. Well, Hiromu Takahashi is my wrestler of the year.
Yeah.
Hands down. It's tough. It's tough to not say Will Ospreay, but if I take out his work in Australia, if I take out his work in the UK, if I take out his work in other places and just look at New Japan, I have to say Hiromu Takahashi. Otherwise, it would probably be Will Ospreay. But just looking at just Japan, just New Japan specifically, Hiromu Takahashi, wrestler of the year for me. Do you agree, disagree? Do you think I'm an insane person?
No, absolutely not, because, spoiler alert, he is actually part of my match of the year. But my wrestler of the year is Jay White. For New Japan. For New Japan, I got one for CMLL. But New Japan...
Well, hang on. So you would call Jay White... Right, this isn't just a New Japan podcast. Oh, so wrestler of the year. Ooh.
Yeah, have you got anyone in Ring of Honor?
Wrestler of the year. I'm tempted to say Jonathan Gresham as well, but I think I'll still stick with Hiromu Takahashi, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fair enough. I was tight because I had Tama. I had four. I had four in my top four. 3 New Japan, 1 CMLL. Tama and Will Ospreay were in my top 4. My feelings for Will Ospreay are the exact same as yours. If you took away everything that he did in Australia, UK, or whatever, strip it back, is his New Japan year as impressive as others? No. I mean, he held the junior title for a while there, but Tama as well, as good as his character is, and he is the king of Twitter, alongside Queen Becky. Tama, again, victories-wise, he didn't have a lot because a lot of it was DQ and stuff like that. But Jay White, for me, has been the star of the year for New Japan. He is... I could watch that day. He's so entertaining. Not the best wrestler. I think probably actually Ishii actually comes into a conversation of one of the wrestlers of the year.
Right, yeah. Ishii, I would understand better than Jay White, for
But
sure.
Jay White is actually my... You want to say wrestler of the year or person of the year?
Like, performer of the year?
And then, actually, I have a CMLL one in Rush.
I mean, look, if you're going to go performer of the year, I got to put Matt Taven in the conversation for me, personally. But wrestler of the year, I stick with what I've said, for sure. But performer of the year, that's a different discussion, I think.
Yeah.
That's a much harder discussion, too.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Because, I mean, if that's the case, do we also take All In and Being the Elite on YouTube and stuff? Because for 2018, at least, I mean, I know moving forward in 2019, there's the big question mark over where all those guys go. But for 2018, does that count as King of Sports Universe, or are they their own thing already?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting way that we kick off the King of Sports.
Because if that counts as King of Sports Universe, then Adam Page has to be in the discussion. All that, killing of Joey Ryan and stuff was fantastic. And the match at All In was amazing. One of the most underrated matches of the year, in my opinion. The Young Bucks for putting it all together. Cody for his heel work on Being the Elite. Although at that point, we're bleeding into last year as well. But I'm just saying, like, there's the performer of the year. I don't even know if I'd want that to be a category because there's too much to go through.
Because we're talking about wrestlers of the year, and we haven't even mentioned the big four. I mean, like, Kenny Omega had one of the best years ever. Like, Kenny Omega should be on everyone's number one.
Yeah, but everyone's going to talk about, well, was it Kenny Omega? Was it Kazuchika Okada and stuff? I don't think, I mean, I don't want to discount them just because everyone's going to talk about them, but I do, when it comes to making my picks, I do try to make picks that other people aren't necessarily going to talk about. Like, they're sort of the underrated, people who fly under the radar a little bit. Not that Hiromu Takahashi or Will Ospreay are under anyone's radar.
But they're not Kenny. They're not Kenny Okada, Tanahashi, or Naito. Like, they're the four. The big four.
Yeah, I'm gonna piss some people off. I wouldn't put Naito in my list at all.
He's one of my characters of the year. I absolutely love him. But in terms of even Los Ingobernables, fucking Mexico or Japan, he's actually not even in my top four.
Yeah. Well, someone from LIJ is in my match of the year.
Well,
so
there we go.
That's something.
Well, do you want to get into that? So with my wrestler year, I had two because I had one for New Japan, one CMLL. Rush was my CMLL pick. So there's another Los Ingobernables guy. So.
Yeah, right. Well, so for me, match of the year includes one of the LIJ guys, and that was at the G1, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonata.
My match of the year also includes this Los Ingobernables guy, and it was Takahashi versus Ishimori from the Super Juniors. That was
right, yeah. That balcony, that's probably what did his neck in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, would have started it, yes.
But no, that match is up there. That match is definitely up there. But, I love the wrestling, right? And so for me, and again, it's another one of those matches that, I mean, everyone's going to talk about the 2 out of 3 falls match from Dominion. Everyone's going to talk about all those sorts of matches. I like to pick one that's probably not going to get as much love, but that's not the only reason. It was, for me, the most exciting match to watch in the King of Sports universe this year.
I agree with you. I didn't even think about that match, but as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, shit, wish I included that. Because the match I was going to consider from the G1 is also another one that was a talking point. I mean, yes, Kenny, obviously, anytime Kenny Omega wrestles is a talking point. But the Kenny and Ishii match from G1 this year, holy shit, like, that was better than Kenny versus Kota and that. Ishii is my most underrated guy of the year. I mean, fuck you.
Well, see, my one was Kota. My runner-up for match of the year is Kota Ibushi versus Tomohiro Ishii. So you went the Kenny one, I went the Kota one. So yeah, but in terms of, I mean, match is one thing, performer is another. What would you say was the biggest moment of the year? I feel like we're going to line up on this one, and I feel like we're going to upset a lot of people.
I got two. I couldn't decide between either one. So there's a special one to us. I'm guessing you're going to have one of this. Robbie Eagles debuting at the Junior Tag League, tapping out Liga, coming out with that new entrance gear. Us being on on podcasts, marking out like little girls like I haven't done for so long. My moment of the year.
I mean, I'm going against gimmick. I didn't even think of that. When I thought moment of the year, I don't know why I didn't think of that. I probably should have thought of that. It goes way against my gimmick to not think of that. I'm the Aussie Grabs guy. No, for me, moment of the year was the attack with the Bullet Club OGs. When the firing squad, they pulled up, they had the firing squad shirts. Haku was there for some reason. And as well, because it all tied in with being the elite and the premonition that Nick Jackson had, and how, in that moment, right before they got hit in the back, he did the eye thing again, and just everything about that was so well done, and I was so excited for that. I think that it ended up not having a great payoff, which is really unfortunate, but that moment itself, standing alone in time, I was so excited when that was happening.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, that was my second thing that I had. So I absolutely agree.
Right.
With one of the best heel attacks I've seen in a long time. Like, just
yeah. My second was Jeff Cobb debuting in Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Right. Just because of what it means for the future. Ring of Honor are in a transition phase, as a lot of people are going to move on in 2019, and they've recently signed. I mean, we've got to talk about it this week. We didn't touch on it yet, the news, but Brody King has signed, PCO has signed, and Silas Young has re-signed, as well as Jay Lethal has signed a long 2-year contract, I think was what I read. Yeah. So, you've got some exciting things happening in Ring of Honor. You got to think Brody King is going to become the guy for the next couple of years.
Oh, Brody King and Cobb, definitely. Because that actually transitions to our next and last thing that I wanted to ask you. 2019. Like, who's your, not to look out for, but who do you think is going to have a really big 2019?
Yeah, Brody King putting Ring of Honor back on the map.
Yeah.
Setting a new identity for Ring of Honor moving forward post Elite and potentially post New Japan.
Okay, fair enough. I agree with that. I think Brody King, Jeff Cobb, all those sort of guys, including the legends Ring of Honor legends like Jay Lethal, Silas, and all those sort of guys. I think you'll be able to, and then obviously they'll keep Flip Gordon around as well. There's some really good talent in New Ring of Honor still to build around, and they're pulling a PCO. Sorry, I keep forgetting about PCO. He's an awesome talent. The revival of PCO, how crazy has that been this year?
Yeah,
but there's still probably talent that they can go grab from out there. Like, I mean, sorry to PWG, but they're pretty much getting stripped dry. Like, someone like a Bandito would be fucking cool in Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what their identity is going to be. I'm not sure. We talked about off air. We've talked about Ring of Honor sort of snapping up some more lucha guys, from CMLL and stuff, and sort of competing more with MLW, because MLW is very lucha focused. So, I mean, I don't know what their direction's going to be, but I'm excited to see what happens. Just because, I mean, it may potentially be the death of Ring of Honor. Who knows? But Ring of Honor has reinvented itself and pushed new guys so many times that I think that there's some real good potential there. And I think Brody King's going to be a big part of that. If you wanted to ask me outside of Ring of Honor, who I would say to keep an eye on in 2019, the Great O-Khan.
Yeah, he's actually...
That kid is a fucking star, and his stuff in Rev Pro is off the hook, and then when he comes back to New Japan, I'm very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, I don't agree with Kawato-san. I think he's failed in CMLL. He's just not reaching those heights, unfortunately. He'll come back, probably be a pin eater in Japan, whatever. But Great O-Khan, holy shit, he's going to have a good 2019. When he comes back, but my 2019 is a guy that's already had a good 2018, but I touched on him before. Sanson out of the Dynamitas in CMLL. He along that with the trio, they're the next Phoenix and Pentagon. Like they're fantastic. Right. And Barbaro Cavanaro, I keep calling him the Mexican caveman. I'm not just saying this because Dave Meltzer's getting a hard on over him. He's in love with him too. But he's another guy to watch out for. Very young and just it's really entertaining. He's had 2 match of the year candidates in CMLL against King Phoenix or Ray Phoenix, however you want to know him as. So there are a couple of guys. But in New Japan, I think 2019 is going to be another bigger year for Jay White. Jay White will become IWGP Heavyweight Championship champion in 2019. Tell you right there.
I think so. I think you're right. I think that Jay White's definitely going to be one to watch. I'm curious to see what Hangman Page does as well. But let's call it right now, and let's close the show with this. And we will start the hashtag right after Wrestle Kingdom. We'll probably wait a bit longer, wait until around Dominion time because that's closer to it. But hashtag Robbie for Super Juniors. Robbie Eagles is one to watch in New Japan in 2019. I'm calling it. He's gonna enter the Super Juniors and he's gonna have a fantastic year.
Yeah, he has to be in the best of Super Juniors. I call it. He'll be in the Battle Royal, the Rumble. He'll be in the Battle Kingdom. No?
I think given how he debuted he tapped out Jushin Thunder Liger in his first match. You know, I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think that the New Japan scouts, like the people behind the scenes, are very high on Robbie, and I definitely think he'll be back for Best of Super Juniors. So that's another one of my lookout for in 2019s, and of course we will get the hashtag going on the social medias as well. And speaking of social medias, Mikey, before we go, where can people find you?
It's 100% at BigBoy_Mikey86. I do not change my Twitter handle too much.
All right, Larry. Right, Larry.
No, this is
there's a running joke now with the B+ that because he was Bug Boy and then he became Marky Mike and all these names that he's going through. We're starting to call him Gurgich, like in Parks and Rec. I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B+ Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit the B+ Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, give us that 5-star review if you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for subscribing and doing everything that you've done with us in 2018. And here's to a big new year.
Bye.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Yeah.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold 2. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Yeah. Hold 3. The moss covered.